Perfect. All right, kiddos, I have your list of questions. This is interactive, so you are welcome to ask questions. In the meantime, I will do my best to monitor the chat, but I've got to do all of it at once. And this is beginner training part 1, where we are going to fire hose with information. I highly recommend that you take notes. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, good to go. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's hit the ball running. Let's talk about where we came from, and it's a lot of information. This information is something that you really need to commit to memory, because this is the crux of ilike, why our products are so high end and why they work so well and why you only need to use small amounts. So this is an ilike. And this is 66 years ago, probably more than that, as she was a child in her backyard during communist Hungary. She is a 3rd generation village herbalist, biochemist, esthetician, as was her mom. And she had one of the first woman-owned and run companies in Hungary post-communism. When they were still under communism, she and her mother would create product in their kitchen and sell it on the black market. Because unlike in the United States, where we do everything reactively, they are proactive in getting kids, just like brushing your teeth, on skincare right away, rather than waiting until something goes wrong and then getting to it. So we hope to be able to inspire our American generations to start young and even possibly add to service menus things for teens and even younger. And we do have product that can service that. So what makes ilike so amazing? Well, first thing is where, how, and the process by which the plants are grown. We are triple organic certified. You can see the certifications on the bottom. There's no other company in the world that has the coverage of these triple organic certifications. We do have these images available to you in the Google Drive if you ever want to add them to any of your websites, your social media. You are absolutely welcome to them. The highest one that you see here on the bottom is Cosmos Natural. This takes about a year per product for us to get these certified under Cosmos Natural. Then we also are covered by BDIH and Garancia. So what does this mean exactly? What this means is where we grow our products, that the ground is certified, so there is no runoff from any other place, guaranteed, that the plant, of course, is certified, and that the air is also certified. So there are no planes flying overhead, there are no power lines, nothing that can get in and damage the organic aspect of the plant, which makes it the purest, most potent type of product that you can produce. There's nothing getting introduced there. So we hand harvest, we horse and buggy in like the Amish to plant, we horse and buggy in like the Amish to harvest. And besides, let's say, a pair of scissors, everything is done by hand. Were it harvested by machine, the organic certification would have to go away because the machines are run by petroleum, as we know. So it would leave petroleum residue on the plant. So everything has to be done by hand. We walk in even, or horse and buggy.
Are the growing locations in the US or in Europe?
Everything is in Hungary.
Okay.
There are only 3 ingredients that we third-party outsource because they don't grow them there. Shea is one of them. Because we don't third-party outsource, that is one of the reasons that the cost is also so high, because it comes directly from the protected areas where we grow in Hungary. So it's akin to, let's say that we wanted to go into one of our national parks here in the United States. Of course, you can't compare, it's apples to oranges, and ask the government. And we would say, hey, can we plant, harvest, and produce and make money off of this here? We can't do that, obviously, here in the United States, but in Hungary, that's what we do with ilike. So ilike is the name of the company in Hungary, and that's how it's spelled. And then ilike is how you pronounce our products. Everybody trashes the name. It's okay, but it's ilike. And so in the United States, we're known as ilike, but ilike and ilike are exactly the same. So what does this mean? It means that because of the triple organic certifications, that the potent active ingredients are always present in every product. And so other than just a few things, for example, stone crop, where you can't use the roots, we take the entire plant and we ferment them. And when we ferment the plants, that's when the enzymatic reaction happens, and two things happen. One, fatty alcohols are created. So when you see alcohol listed on our ingredient deck, it is not SD or denatured alcohol. So the FDA requires that we label products in a certain way. We cannot put it's a fatty alcohol or it's a plant-derived alcohol. You will learn the difference between the two. Most mass market products do have only SD alcohols and not fatty alcohols. But again, when you see alcohol on the ingredient deck, it's a fatty alcohol derived directly from the fermentation, the biotechnology of that plant. Second, when you ferment anything, you get juice. I don't know if you guys have ever done any type of fermentation process, but it creates juice. And that is technically an extract, but it's a physical extract, not a chemical extract. So when you see extract on our ingredient deck, because you will have those ingredient gurus that will question you up and down, it is not a chemically derived extract. It is just juice. And we can't say juice according to the FDA. So start to finish, the environment of the growth, the harvesting, the production makes ilike Organics unique in every way from any other product out there, any other product line out there. And I challenge anybody to find something that compares. I'm not selling you. You all use it. You know it. I passionately believe this. Really, really quickly, my background is I've been 30 years in holistic wellness. I'm an applied kinesiologist. I do gut health and restorative training for people, as well as work on their bodies to correct all kinds of problems, and not only the inside and the outside. And when I was connected with Sylvia, who is the owner of ilike, she was one of my clients, and looked at the incredible line that they had. I went, I've got to be a part of this, because this covers absolutely everything for the outside of the body, because anything that's happening in the gut is going to reflect on the skin as well. So that it was a perfect marriage. And as you see here, it says it works in harmony with the skin's natural chemistry. So just like the gut understands pure organic product, when you ingest it, and it doesn't have to create inflammation to break it down and deliver it, the same thing with the skin. It's a microbiome. It doesn't have to create any type of inflammation. It understands what to do. Our bodies are very smart. All right, so let me move you guys over because I can't see. Now, when you're building custom protocols, and I want you to get to know ilike like the back of your hand, and reading and talking about it and educating your clients and using the resources that we have for you, especially on Google Drive. We are working on getting back-end website up and running, so you guys have resources there. But it's really important that you treat each client as an individual. And just because you have a written protocol doesn't mean that you have to follow everything on that written protocol. Those are there for guides. When you're building a custom protocol, you want to build the protocol out in this order, because you've done an intake, you've connected with the client, you understand their lifestyle, you want to know everything about them. Did they just have a baby? Do they spend a lot of time outside? What are we targeting? Are we targeting, lack of glow, elasticity, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, dehydration, congestion, whatever it is? So you want to hit the main players first, because your client is coming in for you to solve a problem for them and to help them. You're the professional. So when you're building a custom protocol, you build it in this order. You want to start with picking your serum because that's going to target your main issue. Then you pick your booster, which we're going to get into what boosters are and why they're so key important. So your serum and your boosters are hand in hand. Then you will choose your exfoliant for your back bar treatment. Then your masking, it might be multiple masks, your moisturizer, toner, exfoliating wash, and your cleansing milk or gel. The order that you pick these don't really matter. These top 4 players are where you go first. All right, next. So let's start from the beginning. We're going to rush through some of this because we want to get to the nitty-gritty important parts. This is your first cleanse. We have 4 cleansing milks. They generally all do the same thing. You can pretty much use them on all skin. They have some delineation, which you can read about. We're not going to get deep and heavy into it because we are going to talk about each type of product later on. We just launched Fresh and Clean Gel Cleanser for face and body, which is an absolute favorite of mine. So, you know, before we launch any product here in the United States, and ilike carries product that we don't carry in the United States, we internally test everything for 6 months to a year because we all have different skin in here and we're all professionals in skincare to make sure that we like this product, that it works well with the protocols, that we approve of it before we launch it. And if we don't like it, it's not coming on our line for products. So Fresh and Clean Gel Cleanser is based with saponaria and yarrow. Saponaria softens and calms the skin, and the yarrow is anti-inflammatory and so many other good things. This is great for lash extensions, takes off waterproof makeup just like that. I scrub it all over my face. I put a little YouTube video out there for you guys to see exactly how to do a home facial and how to apply product because that's very important. But you can either use a cleansing milk as your first cleanse, or you can use the Fresh and Clean Gel Cleanser. Either one. Some people like milks, some people don't. It's really about what you want. Any questions before I move on? Okay. Next, let's camp out here for a minute. So this is, can you guys see yourselves as I'm moving you around on the screen, or I can only see you?
I can't see me.
Okay, good. Well, no, because I can't see part of the screen because I can see you, which is fine. But I keep moving you guys. That's what I'm doing when I'm messing around with this. All right. Hold on. We have a late arrival. Exfoliating washes. These are bomb. A lot of people get confused because the name exfoliating wash. These are gentle enough to use twice a day. You can also create a deeper cleansing environment if you use, I have this little silicone soft brushy thing that I don't have in here, and it turns on, and you can use it while you're applying the exfoliating wash to even get a deeper cleanse. Everybody that uses this product correctly in the beginning, I don't care if their skin is congested or not, will feel an absolute difference right away. How do you use the product? Very important that once you do your initial cleanse, that you pat the face almost dry, so it's just damp, because you have a high pH in these products. Do not get these in your eyes. You will not injure yourself if you get them in your eyes. It will just sting because the pH is so high. There are no scrubbing actual physical molecules in here. It is actually brought up through product that we have included inside that brings the pH. So it's up high and will get down into that skin barrier to really clean and prep the skin. You apply barely damp skin in circles. It's going to be sticky, tacky. You'll get like a white paste. And then in your hands, get a copious amount of water, and it will be a 180 difference in the texture and feel. Very slick, very slippery. This is a great opportunity for a massage, and it feels yummy on the skin. And then just rinse and pat dry. The difference among all of these, the Soothing Herbs Exfoliating Wash is a great one if you're doing definitely your truly sensitive, inflamed, highly reactive skin. So this is the lowest pH of all of these. Your Refreshing Mint Exfoliating Wash, everybody can use. It's very minty smell. This is great for med spa protocols as well. Mineral has some ichthymol in it and other things, great for your combo oily acne people. So the ichthymol, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is derived from 200 yards below the surface of the Carpathian Basin, where there was a huge volcanic eruption. That is where we get the ichthymol clay from there. It is antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, and it's extremely detoxifying for the skin. So we wouldn't want to put this on a dry skin, definitely more your combo to oily. The calendula and orange exfoliating wash is super calming, also a very high pH. This is an excellent one to use for nails and feet as well for soaking, because everything will just slough right off if you soak in with this calendula and orange. Smells amazing too. Nettle is where you're going after your leather turtles. Nettle is your dehydrated, aging, truly dry, and that's where typically people are. So nettle's going to be probably one that you use more than any of the others, but it is for those people that are dehydrated, dry. Now, if they aren't truly dry and you start to decongest and restore the skin, eventually you can probably switch them over to something like a calendula and orange or a Refreshing Mint if nettle is not needed. It's full of bioflavonoids. It's got the stinging nettle in it. It's excellent for getting in and all of these detoxify.
So are you saying that ichthymol is the best for the irritated skin, Amy, or no?
Well, what kind of irritation are you asking?
Well, I need you to clarify in what you said, just because you're going really fast. So the ichthymol is, can you back up a little bit and just go over the ichthymol again?
Yes. And we're going to talk about ichthymol more.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. If we're talking about it more, we don't have to now.
Okay. No problem. Yes. And I am going to go fast because in order for me to fit all this in 3 hours, I apologize. It's the only way to make it happen. Otherwise, you guys would be here forever. Okay. So let's talk really quickly about toner. Now, a lot of estheticians, it's kind of across the board where people do or don't use toner, don't understand why toner is so important. But all of our products with ilike are based around pH, whether it's high, low, in the middle, whatever it is, your pH of your skin is 4.5 to 5.5. The pH of water is 7. So it's going to be more alkaline than your skin. Your skin is naturally created to be a lower pH in order to fight off bacteria and environmental things that can come in and attack and cause problems with the skin. So we are made with a lower pH on our skin in order to stave off environmental viruses, et cetera, et cetera. So why is toner so important? Skin needs to come to homeostasis and be balanced in order to be healthy, just like anything else in the body. When toner is emitted, product that is applied after is not as effective because the pH is disrupted. Important to use your toner. You would want to double cleanse and then you would tone right after. Using toner, again, never pressing the pumps all the way down on our bottles. Same thing with the exfoliating wash. It's literally like a little teeny pump. That's all you need literally for face and neck. Anybody starting on ilike products will use less product, or excuse me, more product in the beginning, and then they will be able to move into using less product once their skin starts to reach a healthier state. So let's look over to the right here. I told you we were going to talk about alcohols, and very important that you commit this to memory because when you get a typical, and I'm not going to name names here as far as specific lines, especially since we're going to be putting this on YouTube. Typically, mass market toners and cleansers are going to have ethanol alcohol, and there's a lot of different names for those, denatured, SD, that type of thing. What does that do? eventually over time, it damages the surface of the skin. It feels really good going on. However, it is creating an environment in your skin that says, I need more, I need more, I need more. It's a desiccant rather than a humectant. Humectant draws in water and holds in moisture. A desiccant strips it away. So you're stripping away the natural oils on your skin, ultimately damaging the surface of the skin and possibly creating irritation. I used way back in the day when I was a teenager, a line for acne that just ripped my skin apart. And I couldn't figure out why I was always so irritated. And then when I would stop using it, the breakouts would get even worse. And it was because I had broken down that skin surface. So when we're looking at alcohols and we're talking about like this in any of our products that have the fatty alcohols are obviously derived from plants. They're very hydrating. They protect the surface of the skin. They're soothing. Like we said, it's a humectant and they lock in that moisture. Again, needing to use, why aren't we moving? There we go. Okay, so let's talk really quickly through all of our toners. Again, kind of like the cleansers, a lot of them can go across the board. So I'm not going to hit every single one. I'm going to let you read them here, but I am going to hit a couple. The first one I'm going to talk about is your rose hip toner. Everybody's back bar should have rose hip toner. This is your 911 toner. If you put something on somebody's face and they have a reaction or something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, it's too red, too much, this rose hip toner will immediately calm it down. That along with the rose hip serum. So rose hip toner, rose hip serum are your immediate calmers. This is great for all sensitive skin, people that have very irritated, rosacea, mad, angry skin. Your rose hip toner is your go-to.
I have a question real quick.
Yes, go.
Since with Small Northwest, we do work with this brand. I've realized with the rose hip toner that it actually has caused inflamed skin. Like for me, when I got a facial done, rose hip inflamed my skin, made my skin really red. And I've seen that a little bit on other people. I've also seen it calm people. So I guess I'm asking what could be the reason it would make someone red?
Well, it depends on what you've applied prior. So that it depends on the person. Okay. And it also depends on what did you use prior to it.
Okay. Okay. I don't remember, but I just remember that I think it was the exfoliant, the rose hip exfoliant that irritated me.
It irritated you.
Yeah.
Could be maybe that there is an ingredient there that your skin is reactive to. So possibly hitting that ingredient deck, because the rose hip exfoliator, it typically is great for all skin. And if it did irritate you, also wanting to look at maybe what cleansers came before and that type of thing. In addition, there are a lot of clients, and I'm sure you know this, that use a whole gamut of products from different lines. And when the skin becomes reactive, it may not necessarily be because of the rose hip toner. It may be because now you're putting something different on the skin. And a very large percentage of people that mix a lot of lines, we do play well with certain lines, they can have a reaction, which is why we always recommend if you're going to use a line, stick to that line because they work in harmony much better together.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The other one I want to point out is your Stone Crop toner. This is a great across the board toner as well. There is no oil in this toner, and it is very calming and brightening to the skin because you've got your stone crop in there. So when we're working with the hyperpigmentation and that type of thing. The last one I want to hit, and if you have any questions about any of these, is your apple and lemon. Apple and lemon is not for your very sensitive people. If you've got inflamed, angry skin, obviously open bacterial acne, we're going to stay away from apple and lemon because of the citric aspect of it can be very irritating for the skin. Can you use it on acneic clients? Yes, as long as they're not irritated. We do indicate this actually for use for acneic clients. Again, not irritated. If they are irritated, you're going to go either towards Stone Crop or the Rose Hip Toner. But this is definitely one for brightening the skin. When you are applying toner to the skin, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Just little spritzes and tap it around to bring the blood to the surface of the skin. Can you guys see me at all? Or can you just hear me? You can see me? Okay, good.
Okay.
Or you can apply it to a cloth or a little round. That will also perpetuate a little bit more exfoliation as well. We're toning after we cleanse. We tone, you can tone as many times as you want. Sometimes toning is indicated right after you take off an exfoliator, sometimes not. Definitely every time after you remove a mask. Any questions about toners? Okay. All right, so let's go into our next section, which is about exfoliants. Again, read these, take pictures of these, whatever, because we can't hit them all. You have two kinds of exfoliants. You have a physical exfoliant that actually has the pieces and parts in it to exfoliate the skin, as well as all of the good ingredients. And then you have what's called natural chemical exfoliant, or otherwise known as peels. Hold on one second. No, okay, that went the right way. Pardon me. So if you look over to the left, you'll see we have our physical exfoliants. Sulfuric exfoliator does not have pieces in it because sulfur in itself is a natural exfoliator. It actually gets in and removes that keratin, dead keratin layer from the skin. It is a very thick and goopy product. You wouldn't want to use sulfuric exfoliator on somebody who is super duper dry until you start to get their skin a little bit more hydrated. It's definitely indicated for all types of acne, even hormonal acne, and can be used as a lip and an eye treatment. So go right under the eyes to depuff, can use right on the lips as well. The one on the bottom here, spinach and horsetail, I think is really underrated. I don't think people really understand what happens with this particular product. So if you've got somebody that is over medicated, that maybe is post medical treatments, that their skin is just dull, anemic, all of that, spinach and horsetail is going to be your go-to. Why? Because number one, it's iron rich. What does iron do for the skin? It oxygenates the cells. So when cells are oxygenated, the cells can then repair. Basically, what it does is once those cells are oxygenated, it tells all the other parts of the skin to work cohesively together in a healthy way. It also balances your sebum production, and that will bring back glow. So you would think it's a dark green color. This is not going to be a glowy product. Yes, it is. And if you can leave it on for at least 5 minutes or more, the skin will absorb the ingredients. So anybody that's got very dull, any type of just angry or post kind of, let's say chemotherapy, they get that gray kind of look to them, spinach and horsetail is an excellent product to go after. Additionally, horsetail, one of the main parts of horsetail, I don't know if you know what a horsetail is, this big plant that looks like a horsetail. It has silica in it, and silica is the most important mineral that perpetuates collagen production naturally in the body. Horsetail is also antifungal and antimicrobial. So you're getting in and you're killing bacteria to, again, perpetuate that homeostasis in the skin.
So say we have a client who has like a rosacea presenting, would that be a good one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Rosacea, you can use spinach and horsetail. You can also use rose hip exfoliator.
Okay.
If they're oily rosacea, you can also use sulfuric.
Super dry in this case.
Then no.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Rolling face and body has some heat because it's got some green paprika in it. I love this product, but be mindful that if they are super reactive, you're probably not going to be using this one. Okay, because it's got the heat in it. You may or may not feel the heat. I have really, my skin is very, very hydrated and healthy, but I'm also super tough. Like I can put anything on my skin and I don't get a bad reaction, if you will. Let's go to the natural chemical exfoliants. So your AHA fruit peel is your most gentle exfoliant as far as when you're getting into your natural chemical exfoliants. So we haven't hit yogurt yet. We are going to get there. So this fruit peel is where if somebody definitely has highly reactive skin, but you want to start perpetuating that turnover. You want to get in and you want to start getting that skin resurfaced, but they're very, very sensitive. The AHA fruit peel is where you're going to go. You can put this directly under the eyes as well. Next would be our Quad Defense Gentle Enzyme Refiner. This is gentle enough to use on all skin. You would want to put on a couple of layers here. This can also be used at home, no problem. You may or may not feel a tingle with this one. Super gentle. We're going to get into more of what Quad Defense is a little bit later. And then you have your botanical AHA peel. The botanical AHA peel is kind of in the middle of, you have yogurt, then you have botanical AHA peel as far as levels of intensity, and then you have your AHA fruit peel, which is the least intense of all the peels. So botanical AHA is the same pH and the same 20% lactic acid as the yogurt power peel, but it doesn't have the lemon oil in it. If somebody has super reactive, I would be careful for this one. Depending on the harvest specifically with some of the products, if you get a bottle of botanical AHA that's a super bright pink, it's probably going to be a little bit stronger. If you get a bottle that's more of super bright pink, is going to be a little bit stronger. If you get a bottle that's a lighter pink, it's going to be less strong. And that just all has to do with the harvest. And that's the same across the board with all of our products. Not every time that you get a product is it going to always exactly look the same in every container, because we don't put anything, obviously we're not adding fragrances or any type of chemical compounds to create consistency throughout the product. Sometimes you have to stir them up because they can get crusty on the top. That's organic. That's just the way that it goes. Any questions? I'm going to still stay on exfoliants on this next slide, but does anyone have any questions about this page? Please feel free to ask questions because it's a lot of information. You do need to know this stuff, and there are places where you can find. All right, now I'm going to hit yogurt and grape stem cell. These are two of my top favorite exfoliators, and here is why. Yogurt, in particular, is the litmus test for you to figure out if your client's skin is congested. Once you double cleanse and tone and apply a very thin layer of the yogurt, again, go watch my 3-minute YouTube video. I'm using yogurt in that one on how to apply it. If they don't feel a tingle within the first 30 seconds or at least to a minute, that is your sign that your client's skin is congested. And this will start the process of the decongestion. This can also lead into conversation of, hey, you may or may not feel a tingle with this yogurt power peel. This helps to balance the microbiome of the skin. It also lightens pigmentation. It's great for post-inflamed acne. It's a quick on and off exfoliant. However, if they're not feeling anything, you can say to your client, okay, if you're not feeling a tingle, we've got to get you on home care so we can start to get the skin decongested. Skin cannot change until number one, it's decongested. Then number two, it is rehydrated. So we can put all the product on that we want, but if that skin is all full of junk in the pores and it's not taken out over time, then changes ultimately down the line cannot be occurred. That can't occur. So it's something for you to really communicate with people is, you know, you can come in and you can do a facial And you may feel good, look good for that moment, but it's that long-term consistency over time, just like working out, that's going to make the ultimate end result changes in the skin. So with the yogurt, again, it's a 2 to 3 pH, so very low pH, 20% lactic acid. And again, great for decongesting the skin. When I first used yogurt power peel, some of you have heard this story before, when I first started working for Ilike, and you'll see pictures of me later on about what I looked like then, I slept in yogurt power peel. I didn't feel a thing. And I was a little disillusioned and walked in the office the next day and said, you know, this is not working. This is supposed to be the best peel that we have and really get in deep. And I didn't feel anything. I slept in it. And our VP, Linda, gave me the look that she gives. It's kind of like one of these looks. And the reason that my skin was congested, even though I was playing with a lot of the ilike products, is because I was not on a consistent protocol created for my skin. 5 days later, after she put me on exactly what I needed for my skin, I used the yogurt power peel again. Immediately, I felt a tingle. I could only leave it on for 4 minutes, and I got nice and pink, which is what you want. So when you're using yogurt power peel, you want to have that pink glow. Usually 4 to 6 minutes is max. Now, what am I talking about here with the peel and polish? So let's talk about grape stem first, and then I'll get into peel and polish. So stem cells, plant stem cells, are all the rage and trending now. We've had them for a very long time. I highly encourage you to go read the clinical studies that we have done about our stem cell line. We take the entire plant, the skin, the seeds, the stems, everything. Stem cells are self-regenerating, just like any type of stem cell. So a stem cell can go in, they're immortal, they can't die, and they say to dormant skin cells, wake up, let's get moving and start to turn over, because cell turnover equals healing, circulation equals healing. There is a high concentration of antioxidants, which is going to get in there and attack free radical damage, which is then going to create an environment where the wrinkles are going to get better, the surface of the skin is going to get better. It's going to increase the glycation of the skin, which is what creates the age spots on the skin. It's also going to promote the collagen synthesis. One of the most amazing things about grape stem is, if you look in the middle here, when you're talking about the serum, the polishing scrub, the mask, not necessarily the cleansing milk, the second that it is applied to the skin, so just like you have metabolism where your body turns over your insulin and all of that, it takes from your base metabolic turnover and it increases it by 124%. So basically what it's saying is, all right, cells, let's amp it up with the turnover quick, quick, quick. So just like in young baby skin, they have very high cell metabolic turnover, which is why children heal so much more quickly and that type of thing, and why their skin is so smooth. Their turnover is very high naturally. As we age, this starts to decline as we get older, and then lifestyle choices, of course, play a big part in that as well. So we stopped the study at 6 hours. Honestly, it may go longer than that, but we can only guarantee that for 6 hours that cell turnover is going to increase by 124%. So imagine whatever you're combining with your grape stem cells. So let's say we haven't hit ecopeptide yet, but that's what's going to create the collagen in the skin. It's also going to tell that ecopeptide, let's work at that level as well. So grape stem is great for all skin. You can't go wrong with it. You can use this exfoliant by itself. The seeds are the actual exfoliating part of the grape stem. You can leave it on. I mean, I can walk around in it for half an hour. It kind of gets like chunky and crusty if I leave it on that long, but you can leave it on that long. When you're in back bar, you want to try 10 minutes if you can do minimum. Peel and polish, what is that? Pop on the yogurt power peel. So you're getting your deep peel, turnover of the skin, all of the benefits of the yogurt. Then you can take grape stem and gently in circles apply it around on top. So you're getting both. You can also do a peel and polish with your spinach and horsetail. You can do a peel and polish with rolling face and body. Can't do it with sulfuric, but you get the double exfoliation aspect with peels and polish. This should be an add-on, not a general exfoliating step, because number one, you're using more product. Be careful when using the words double exfoliant, because in some states that's illegal. So be careful with your wording. You can use this on grape stem by itself. All skin yogurt is going to be for anybody that is not irritated. Okay, so you don't want to make it angrier. Once their skin calms down, then you can try yogurt power peel. You can also patch test right behind the ear or put some on the little elbow pit here. Questions? I think everybody should have yogurt and grape stem in their back bar. It's a no-brainer. All right, let's talk about hyaluronic acid. Very, very important. This is key. Most people have heard the word hyaluronic acid, but most don't really understand how one can compare with another. If you go into Walgreens, you're going to find a lip gloss that says it has hyaluronic acid in it. But what does that mean really? Hyaluronic acid molecularly has different lengths of strands. So there are short strands. Some people call them medium strand. For today, we're going to call them short. And there are long strands. The difference between the strands is the short strand of hyaluronic acid penetrates beneath the skin barrier. There are very few things that really can penetrate beneath the skin barrier and not just lay right on top of the skin. So what does this mean? This means that whatever you put on after you apply the hyaluronic acid is also going to be sucked down into that beneath the skin barrier, which is where the changes are made. Excuse me. In our hyaluronic acid, we source it from marshmallow, yucca, a couple of other sources, and it is dual weighted. The actual atomic weight of our hyaluronic acid is proprietary information, so I cannot share that with you. But what I will tell you is that it is the perfect balance of short strand, long strands. So it penetrates down so that you are absorbing, every molecule absorbs 1,000 times its weight in water. So what does that mean? Think of a sponge. If you fill it up with water, it becomes very plumpy and volumized, which means the skin becomes elasticized. Hyaluronic acid is that drink of water for the skin, just as important that we need to drink water internally. This is going to bring that plumping, hydrating aspect. Everybody should be using hyaluronic acid every single day. Now, let's get into it. One, we have 3 boosters that have the dual weighted hyaluronic acid, and we call them boosters. Okay, regardless of the name, they're all boosters. When you have the rejuvenation, the firming booster, and the Vita C booster, they have the dual weighted hyaluronic acid, but they also have extra things that will also treat the skin. So when we're talking about the rejuvenation booster, it has copper and keratin. Copper in itself will get in and strengthen those skin tissues. So think about people that are, again, post-medical treatments, post-oncology patients, things like that. It's going to increase that cell turnover to try to restore that homeostasis in the skin. Of course, it's going to improve the elasticity of the skin. The firming booster with rose petal and caffeine has the caffeine, which increases the circulation, increases the cell turnover, and reduces puffiness. This is great for all skin. Personally, for me, if you're really hitting that aging aspect of the skin, I would go with rejuvenation booster and or your hyaluronic elixir. This hyaluronic elixir is a smaller bottle. than the other 3 boosters because there is nothing extra in there. It is straight dual weighted hyaluronic acid, has a little bit of vitamin C as a preservative, and that is all. Let's talk about application of hyaluronic acid. When you are first starting in your booster profiles, using hyaluronic acid properly is important because most people are dehydrated. So imagine, you know, you're in a desert and you're drinking water. I mean, you are just absorbing it quickly. When you're putting it on yourself, you'll do a drop, dead center, middle, forehead, and with your middle finger, ring finger, just move it around, okay? Rather than rubbing it in. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling it back into the pores of your hand. Except for Vita C Booster, the rejuvenation, firming, and hyaluronic elixir can all go on top and bottom of the eyes. Vita C can go under the eyes, but not on top. Vita C Booster can be used as a spot treatment for age spots and hyperpigmentation. You can dual hyaluronic acid, dual booster if you want. You would not want to use the Vita C Booster on the inflamed skin because it does have the apple and lemon. Again, just like with that toner, it could cause some irritation. You're always, always safe with straight hyaluronic elixir for every skin, all types, no matter what. We would love to see all of the clients using hyaluronic acid prior to using their serum every single day, twice a day. When you're using it in the back bar, you're going to double cleanse, exfoliate, double cleanse, tone, exfoliate, then you're going to apply the booster. So can someone tell me why we're putting a booster on before I apply a mask? Anyone? Bueller?
The mask absorb better.
Yes. Not only does it absorb better, but where does it go?
It penetrates deeper.
Yes, it's going to go deeper down into the skin. So the efficacy of the mask that you're applying after the hyaluronic acid is now going to be much more effective, which is we're results-based. That's what we're going after. When you are applying hyaluronic acid to your client, obviously you work in sections. So you do a top section, get that moved around before you apply any more. So you apply, move it around, then apply, move it around. Don't forget the neck, apply, move it around. You can put it on the lips, ears, everywhere. Everything needs water, or all your skin needs water anyway. So do it in sections because we are just going to assume that everybody is dehydrated. If you were to drop, more likely than not, by the time you get to that second or third side, it's already been absorbed and you don't have the opportunity to spread it around. Any questions about hyaluronic acid? Super important that you understand. So Elena, what is the difference between short strand and long strand hyaluronic acid?
What was the question again?
You paying attention, girl? Turn your camera on.
I am. Sorry. What was the question?
I said, what is the difference between short strand and long strand molecularly in hyaluronic acid?
Well, on the screen, I know you were talking about this is, beneath the skin barrier, and the long strand is the skin surface.
Right.
I don't know the answer to that, and I'm sorry.
You're okay. This is why I ask. I want to make sure y'all are absorbing,
absorbing
this information.
The ilike hyaluronic acid has both, correct?
That is correct. It is
I'm just making sure I'm understanding it like that.
Yes. So the ilike hyaluronic acid has both of them. This is why we call it, if you look in the middle right here where it says dual weighted, what that means is it's both. This is one weight and this is another weight. Can you see my dot?
Yeah.
Okay. So dual weighted hyaluronic acid and the perfect balance of both of them, because not only are you hydrating within, but you're also creating the hydration without and protecting, creating that moisture barrier on the surface of the skin. Okay. So it means short strand, long strand. One goes down, the other stays on top. Sephora. Why should we be using this every day?
Well, you're basically saying that it's like giving you hydration daily, but it's also making like creating a place in our skin where we can actually absorb the additional products that we're using, correct?
Yes, that's absolutely
That,
right.
is that correct?
Oh,
I'm all correct to myself.
you're correct. Yes.
Oh my God. It's
No,
a lot
you're
of
fine.
information. So my brain's going like, in circles. But what I'm understanding is how essential this is so that the rest of the product can actually, it's like going to yell at your skin to correctly absorb and process the rest of the product that we're using.
But even used, okay, let's just say that all you did was cleanse, boost, and moisturize. That's okay too. Do we want them doing more? Yes. But the point is, it would be like you not ever drinking water.
Okay.
For the skin. It's going to give that glowy, plumpy, a lot of people, I had one client, maybe it was Priscilla. I don't remember. Tell me, Priscilla, if this was you. Somebody wanted to look like a wet donut. That's the first time I have ever heard that request.
God.
Was it Priscilla?
A glistening donut.
Somebody wanted to look like a wet donut.
That wasn't me. No.
Okay. The first time
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Some want a matte finish because their sebum production is all wonky, but some people really, really want the glow regardless. You can apply things that are going to create a matte finish, but there's nothing like hyaluronic acid to bring that plumping, voluming, elasticizing, healthy. Can anybody describe to me what turgor is? Does anybody know what that means? Turgor.
No.
Okay. Turgor is when you can take the skin and pull on it and how quickly it bounces back. So it's a little different. It's akin to elasticizing, but it's that bounce back of the skin. So think of a baby. If you were to pinch their cheeks, it's just going to go right back. I'm 51 years old. I put my contact in. My nails are too darn long. I put my fingernail right there underneath my eye. Obviously, the turgor underneath my eye is not like it used to be. And you could see my nail indentation, and I didn't even press that hard, which means the turgor underneath my eye is pretty crappy. So,
can I ask you a question? I don't have in front of me like the instructions, that we send home with our clients when they get the product. It's all in the correct order on that, correct?
On what?
Like we have the little the instructions that we put down what product they're using in the order. So that order is correct for our clients as we're discussing right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I
just don't have it in front of me, Amy. So
I do that and I go through it. I also have it. It's in the talking points, home care.
Okay, great.
The order. So
okay.
if you've not become familiar with our Google Drive backend and you need training on that, we can meet later and go through that, because that is going to be, especially the talking points, it's very basic understanding. It's not deep into the science, but it is going to give you the verbiage for you to memorize and use with your clients. You can pull it up on your phone. It is mobile friendly. So get familiar with those talking points, because that is how you're going to educate yourself and your clients very quickly. And the more you say it, the quicker you'll learn it. All right. We have what is called a bioscience collection. What does that mean? It means that we have hired outside scientists to isolate cells that we want to use in order to put them together in nature to create very high performance products. When you see CS above any of the products, if you look down at the body, at the bottom, it says clinical studies. So CS means clinical studies. When we have clinical studies, they are all published out there for you in the Google Drive. You can, based upon compliance of your client, guarantee results. Any mass market product that's out there, I don't care where it's from or how much it costs, cannot, without clinical studies, say, I guarantee that if you use this over this amount of time, this is what will happen with your skin, unless they have true blind done clinical studies. And we have them, which means as an esthetician, you can say, I personally use and I professionally recommend and can guarantee this is what will happen with your skin if you do it this way. Okay, that is huge. If you notice, if you look at other kind of ads, they can say radiating, vitalizing, beautifying, whatever. We can say, we will resurface your skin. We can heal the acne scarring. We can do these things with our products. So let's look at retinol real quick. Retinol is one of our newer lines. We will get deeper into retinol because it's super important that you understand it. When you compare retinol, which is what most people are familiar with, and just like hyaluronic acid, not all retinols are created equally. We are one of 3 companies in the world that have retinol, and we are one of 2 companies in the world that have the organic aspect. And you know what I mean when I say the organic. It's not like USDA organic. Let me just clarify something. When something is USDA organic, they allow for 25% of that organic coverage to not be organic. And the only part of the 75% that is organic is the actual plant, not the ground, not the soil, not the runoff, not the water, not the air. That is the big difference, which is why we don't go after USDA organic. We don't find that it's worth it. By the way, we water all of our plants with reverse osmosis as well. So that we're not getting anything, again, it's pure. So what is the difference between retinol and retinol? So it's AL. Retinol is only come out because biotechnically is very difficult to stabilize. We figured out the way to stabilize it. We have very smart scientists in Hungary, and retinol and retinol both have to convert to what we call retinoic acid or retinaldehyde in order to actually create that function on the skin. The conversion happens once the product is applied to the skin, not before. When retinol is applied to the skin, OL, it has to go through 2 molecular conversions in order to become retinoic acid or retinaldehyde in order to become effective. So what does that mean? That means that it is very easily perpetuating skin irritation. You've seen people that use retinol and they get that flaky, dry redness, makes other things mad on the skin. Not everybody, but it, again, depends on the quality and the sourcing of the retinol. Our retinol has Rowan sorb apple, apricot, hyaluronic acid, and it only has to go through 1 conversion in order to become retinoic acid on the skin. So the result of that is that it's 11 times faster than retinol. Then there's minimal to no irritation. However, you don't want to just go slather this on your skin. Yay. Somebody needs to be on a regular protocol. You have to know your client and you have to roll it in slowly. The reason being, it is strong. And if you put too much of a good thing, you can actually get the reverse results. When I'm speaking about that in retinol, and again, we're going to hit more of this, I'm not talking about the mask that you see here. The mask can be used on all skin. It smells great. It is the replacement for the apricot mask that we don't have anymore. It's extremely aromatic and it is gentle enough. Okay, so the mask itself is the exception of the slow roll-in. If you also look at the bottom, so when you're understanding, so you see it says retinol 0.05%. Look at the box on the bottom here, 2.2% of retinol is the same as far as strength goes, 0.2% of retinol. So when you're doing those conversions and understanding those numbers, again, we're going to hit more. This is just an introduction. Also in our bioscience collection, again, guaranteed results. We talked about grape stem. Who can tell me 3 things? It's right there in front of you in your own words. Why is grape stem incredible for your skin? Somebody that hasn't answered already. So Sephra, you don't get to answer.
Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
Elasticity, firming, and lifting.
There it's right there. But
Yeah.
and explaining, if I had to explain to you in 20 seconds or less why you need grape stem cell, Priscilla, what would you say? What's the most important thing, the most, I guess, dynamic thing that a client would go, ooh, I gotta have that?
Elasticity, firming, lifting, corrects damage. That cell turnover rate, 124%, is amazing.
Yes. Always creating, and I always teach in analogies. This is just my way of doing it. I homeschooled my kids for a gabillion years. And so I had to learn how to teach all different kinds of learners. And so everybody learns differently. Sometimes things need to be said 12 different ways, and that is okay. So if you don't understand something, that is fine. But in the analogous teaching, analogous, what is, I don't know. You know what I mean? When you're creating analogies, if you can compare things to the internal part of the body to your clients about their skin, because they do go hand in hand, the understanding level will increase quite a bit. Everybody understands what metabolism is internally, and helping them understand that your skin is the largest organ on your body. Your skin also is a microbiome, and your skin also has to cell turnover in order to make changes to metabolize. So using that type of verbiage with people helps them to be educated, because your number one goal as an esthetician is not just giving a great facial, besides the connection with your client, but it's educating them. The number one most important thing after you make that client connection is educating them. And if you are not educated and you are not passionate about what you're doing, there is no way that that's going to work with your clients. And you want to get everybody on home care because you know better than them. You're the professional. And if they're coming into you for a service, and we're going to do a second part about this, but if they're coming into you for the service as the professional using these incredible high-end products, and they're going home and using, I can't name it out loud, but other product at home, they're creating a scenario where they came to you, they paid $150 and tipped for this great facial. Maybe you did a dermaplane or something like that. And they're going to go home and reverse that. It's important for you to explain this to your clients. So grape stem, 124% cell turnover, free radical healing, getting in, and does all the things. It is part of the trifecta for aging. Next, ecopeptide therapy. I've just put another couple of posts out there on Instagram about this. It gets very technical. Again, go in and read those clinical studies. So what is a hexapeptide 11? A hexapeptide 11, if you Google it, I've never found a hexapeptide 11 other than from ilike that is created from nature. Somebody explain to me, because a lot of you have already had training with me, what is a hexapeptide 11? Brittany, are you still with me? I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Can you explain what a hexapeptide 11 is?
It is an amino acid chain of protein that is from a pea.
And what do they do with it?
They inject it into yeast.
Correct. So it's biotechnology, it's fermentation, biotechnological fermentation. So what happens is when that pea peptide is inserted into yeast, it completes the amino acid chain. And if you know anything about the internal part of the body, completing those amino acid chains is very, very important. It completes the amino acid chain that creates the protein molecule collagen. It also does a lot of other things because it has the shea and the ginkgo, which will hit, but it tells the dormant cells, wake up, make collagen. It also makes collagen. So it's two things happening at the same time. When that collagen is created, we all know that collagen, along with your hyaluronic acid, plumps the skin. This is what we're lacking. This is where the elasticity goes as we start to age. So this is going to get in and start to slow that environmental deterioration. And then not only that, are you getting deep hydration from the ginkgo and the shea. You've probably heard me say this before, but the ginkgo tree is the only tree that survived the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Can anybody tell me why?
I can.
Woo, tell me. There she is. Hi, girl.
Okay, so it is because of its ability, like, to like the not the branches, but the bark on the tree is very thick, so it holds a lot of moisture and it keeps a lot of the like things that would damage it from the outside out.
Right. You are right. Ding, ding. You get a Reese's cup. Okay. Did you catch it?
I sure did.
Okay. So
I have a
yes.
quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
about
Who's
the
talking to me?
peptides.
Elena. Is that,
So,
I can't see you.
oh,
Where you
sorry.
where you is? There you are. Okay.
So I was wondering with this because I did some research on my own because I know some people they use specifically just retinols or they use specifically just peptides because you know peptides are a lot more gentler on their skin. If somebody wanted to incorporate peptides and retinols into the skin, how would they go about that? Would it have to be on different days? Could you use those together?
Yes. So again, just to preempt the answer to this question, know your client, know their skin, make sure they're on a regular protocol. Yes, you absolutely can combine the ecopeptide line. And I did that. So when I did 3 months of retinol, I also did, because you're only using, when you start to use retinol, you're only using the serum every other day at night to start. All the other times I was applying serum, I was using ecopeptide therapy serum. Can you double layer the serums? Yes. So I would also do that sometimes. But you can incorporate the ecopeptide peptides with the retinol. Yes, that's not contraindicated at all.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so with that ginkgo, it is, yes, she was absolutely right. It is the strong bark, so that's the protection. And what that does is it holds more water than any other tree on the planet. So we put that, you guys have heard of ginkgo biloba and things like that that you can take internally. We put that in our ecopeptide line. We also outsource an incredible shea, which creates that sealant, because whatever you put on your skin, you don't want it to evaporate right away. Anything that light, you know, free radicals are everywhere. We can't get away from them, but they come in and they attack the electrons of your cells, which create cell damage. When you seal in the skin, that helps to protect from more damage occurring. So if you're putting all these good products in your skin, the hyaluronic acid, the grape stems, the peptides, you don't want them to escape. So let's seal it in. If you use a protocol.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Where is the shea sourced from if it isn't hungry?
Madagascar.
Interesting. Well, thanks.
You're welcome. If you're using a protocol, which is what I did when I was cleaning up my skin, with your hyaluronic acid, of course, you need that in all protocols, but your grape stem cell, and I'm talking serum, moisturizer, mask, something in there, and your ecopeptide, those three together are your trifecta for getting in and treating aging. All the things about aging. Once you get them on regular protocols with those, then it could be indicated to roll in retinol. I would not start with retinol. That's a roll in. Okay, again, because it's strong. And you want to make sure, again, we're number one, decongesting. That's the number one most important thing. Why is that the number one most important thing when you're starting to make changes to the skin?
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Could you repeat that?
Why is decongesting the skin when you're starting to make changes? You've decided, okay, I don't like this anymore. I need to change this. Why is decongestion the first step that must occur?
It's important because if you're using all of these products to target your skin or make changes, if the skin is not decongested, then it's not going to absorb properly. There's going to be that blockage there. So essentially, you wouldn't be doing anything unless you're decongesting or moving that gunk out of the way first.
You're so smart. Yes, exactly right. Perfect. Reese's cup for you. All right. Let's go next into, and yes, we are going to hit retinol in a deeper dive, but we're still in our bioscience collection. Now, something that most of you probably do not know is for a while, you're not going to be able to get much of our rose petal line except for the milk, because we are not doing anything with that. Rose petal is getting an upgrade. We are adding other product to it, especially a copious amount of hyaluronic acid, which is now going to make it one of our bioscience collection products. And again, when I'm saying bioscience collection, what do I mean? I mean, these are your high performance. You've got your fluff and buff products, okay, your gentle, your aromatic, which is what rose petal used to be. And then you have across the board to your very high performance bioscience collection products. These are going to be more effective, quicker acting, penetrate better, and they're more expensive. It's just the way it goes. So you have your products that are, again, your gentle, your aromatic, it's going to feel good, still do good things for the skin, still going to hydrate, still going to go in there and calm or whatever it is that you're after, but maybe not make the results-based changes that you're after. Rose petal line, we don't know exactly when all these are coming out. We still do have product left. We are completely out of rose petal whipped moisturizer. So there is none in the building. You're gonna have to wait for that one. And they are also coming out with a neck and décolleté, because right now we have Phytolift neck and décolleté. They're making a rose petal neck and décolleté, which is super rich to get in and treat the neck and deck. I call it neck and deck. It's getting that upgrade, and this is going to have, because when we harvest our roses and we only do the really, really red ones, we harvest them at the peak time of the morning, right before they open, when they're the most oil infused. And that is when we harvest them so that we can pull those oils out at their deepest potency.
My great grandma used to make her own rose petal lotion.
Oh, cool. Very cool. I've got a couple of videos out there that show the actual harvesting and creating of some of the rose petal line. So what does it do? We all know that rose petals are hydrating. They plump the skin, especially it's going to plump more with the hyaluronic acid and calm the irritation, inflammation, redness, antioxidant rich, of course, and slowing that aging process. You want to use this on your dehydrated, sensitive people. If somebody's got really oily skin, rose petal is not for them. It's too oily. It's too emollient. Okay, so if somebody's truly oily, and that sebum has not been balanced and restored, rose petal would probably not be indicated for that client. Now let's go into probiotic. And I know somebody had a question about the probiotic, and she's not here, but I'm going to go into it anyway. Okay. So just like the gut is a microbiome, your skin, again, is the microbiome. A lot of issues happen. So even if the skin is decongested, when the microbiome of the skin is imbalanced. Here are some of the things, if you look to the right of the page, that can happen from an imbalanced microbiome. Acne, both bacterial and hormonal, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis, hyperpigmentation, age spots, premature aging, inflammation, skin's not healing properly. Scars, you can heal, actually reduce the scars, not only with the probiotic, but if you mix that with the yarrow oil, you can get in and really get after those scars. So sometimes for a period of time, depending on the client, they need to be having probiotic treatments first. Sometimes it's across the board. They need to stay on it all the time. It just depends. This particular mask, because we're in masks, is called a probiotic day and night treatment. It goes on just like a thick moisturizer, and you can sleep in it. It gets in, it balances that microbiome. So what is it that's doing the work here? I'm not going to get, unless you need me to, really deeply into what elderflower, blackberry, red grape skin, hyaluronic acid, grapeseed oil, and shea butter do, but it's a big part of it. But our specific strain of lactic acid that we use is what will lighten. So it's helping with that hyperpigmentation, the scarring, also balances out the microbiome of the skin, reduces the irritation, and strengthens the skin. So the probiotic serum is a great one to use across the board. Again, can you layer serums? Yes, you can, depending on the serum. So certain ones you wouldn't want to layer. And BT Dubs, the probiotic serum, which you cannot write this anywhere because the FDA is picky about stuff, but let's just say, and really not saying the probiotic serum functions in the same way as far as where it goes as the hyaluronic short strain. Again, you can sleep in this mask if you want, and it is pretty much good for most skin.
Can you use the probiotic treatment on different parts of the body for scarring?
You can. You can use it anywhere. Most of the products you can use anywhere. If you are getting after scarring and you have, let's say you have a scar on your leg, I would definitely do a yogurt power peel. You can also use yogurt power peel on elbows, feet, that kind of thing. I would do a, clean yogurt power peel to get that skin nice and ready. Then I would apply probiotic serum, yarrow oil, and then you could pop even the day and night treatment on top of that. Or this is going to be a little bit more potent than the actual moisturizer itself. Very important that you understand probiotics and the nature of it. Any questions about this?
Just before I forget, can you go over the combination that you have for the razor bumps too?
Yes. Let me write that down so I don't forget.
Just so I don't forget, because I've got 2 clients who need that.
When I hit saponaria, bring that up to me again, okay?
Okay, I will.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Any other questions about probiotics? A lot of your clients are going to need them. Still in masks. These 2 masks, especially the cucumber parsley gel mask and your fibrous stone crop gel mask, are extremely versatile. Cucumber parsley should be in all back bars. You can mix cucumber parsley with any gel mask. It is extremely hydrating. It is the best mask for hyperpigmentation. It is cooling. It is calming. If somebody has angry skin, put this on. It will calm it down. Great to use post a Hungarian paprika treatment, which we'll hit that very, very soon. You can layer it, you can mix it. Excuse me, I have something I need to drink. Typically, if I'm using any type of gel mask, I'm not talking standalone mask, but if I'm using a gel mask, cucumber parsley is going to be in my protocol. You can also layer Hungarian paprika over it. Love this mask. Now, vitalizing powder. What the heck is it and why do we need it? Vitalizing powder is a big vitamin C boost. You can put vitalizing powder, comes in a big 8.4 container, so it lasts forever. All you need is just a little bit. And you throw it in, you mix it in with your mask, and that is going to go after hyperpigmentation. Caution, if somebody has highly reactive skin and you're already using other very stimulating products within a protocol, be mindful of adding that vitalizing powder because it does bring up the intensity. It's vitamin C, and it's a lot. I mean, that's literally what it is. So when you're treating the hyperpigmentation, best combination for hyperpigmentation together would be cucumber parsley and vitalizing powder, but you can add it to other gel masks as well. Fiber's Stone Crop Gel Mask, probably one of our best known masks, is also good for hyperpigmentation. You can also add vitalizing powder to this one, just like any gel mask. Not quite as good for the hyperpigmentation as the cucumber parsley, but it does that work. This one also will go after acne, scarring, calming inflammation, and sun damage. A lot of our masks can be mixed and layered together, especially when you're looking at the gel mask. All right, let's go through Quad Defense really quickly. I do have the mask on here, but the information on Quad Defense applies to all of our Quad Defense products. Quad Defense also is one that has the clinical study, so you can guarantee results. What you want to think about with Quad Defense is environmental damage. Eating, drinking, smoking, pollution, crap in the water, stress, whatever it is that is breaking down those free radicals and damaging the cells, the Quad Defense gets in there and it's going to fix that. It is a powerhouse of ingredients. There's a lot more ingredients. I have a full presentation on this. We can do a training on it some other time, but I wanted to just show you really quickly. So why do we call it quad? Because we have 4 main ingredients: sea buckthorn, blackcurrant, elderberry, cantaloupe. Not going to read through everything that's on this screen. So please pay attention, take a look at what each thing does. Sea buckthorn is known as the holy fruit in the Himalayas. They've been using it for years and years and years. They're doing a lot of research on sea buckthorn right now as also a cancer treatment I've been reading about, and I also take it internally. I take actually not the cantaloupe, but the sea buckthorn, the blackcurrant, and the elderberry. I take all of those internally as well. So the list of the benefits here are what it does for the outside of the body. I have a presentation we can go through if you're ever interested on also what it does for the inside of the body. So when we're talking about UVA, UVB, UVC, blue light, which is phones, computers, and it also helps to, once it's getting in there and repairing that free radical damage, so it's helping to build the immunity of the skin. What does that mean? It's going to help to smooth those lines. It's excellent protection from the environment. Great for people that are really outdoorsy type of people that go skiing a lot, that sports, people that are in sports, that are outdoor sports and that type of thing. The only type of skin that you really wouldn't want to use your Quad Defense on would be somebody that is super over oily. Once you balance that sebum production, fine, but it's too emollient for their skin. So that would be the only contraindication that I would say. But for everybody else, Quad Defense is an excellent option. We have Quad Defense in an essence, which is kind of a combination between a serum and a booster. We have moisturizer. The mask is Yummo. It smells great, very aromatic. All right, next. All right, let's talk about people that are combination dry, and oil deficient. So we've already talked about fiberstone crop. What's that? What's that? Somebody asked a question? No. Okay. We already talked about fiberstone crop gel mask. I put it in here so that you can categorize when you're going after and looking at the masks and quad defense mask. Let's talk about pumpkin and orange. This is an enzymatic mask because pumpkin is a natural enzyme. It can be a little heated for some skin, so be mindful. It does get in and hydrate and soothe and increases cell turnover, smells great. It's got pumpkin, orange, algae, and castor seed oil, which that castor seed oil gets in. And as I use castor oil externally all the time, gets in and really penetrates deep, deep, deep into the skin and is extremely healing. You can mix it with cinnamon and make it spicy. This is a great fall one. We move a lot of pumpkin and orange during fall. So if somebody's super highly reactive and sensitive, pumpkin is not going to be for them. Then sour cherry gel, it enhances the appearance of the pores. I wouldn't say it reduces necessarily. It is antioxidant rich, but this is more of your fluff and buff. But if somebody just wants it to smell really good and all that, now you can add things to it to make it more powerful, like Vita C booster. You can mix it with other masks, that type of thing. If you love the smell, it's not going to be one of your high performance masks. Also for your combination dry oil deficient skin is going to be your hyaluronic thymerase complex gel mask. So this is going to get in and boost the collagen. It's got ginkgo, yucca, marshmallow, horsetail. This is a great one to use post med spa procedures, as well as cucumber is also a good one to use post med spa procedures. Very gentle. If somebody is super, super oily, you wouldn't go after with this one. This is more going to be for your combination dry or your oil deficient skin. Any questions? Because I'm moving on. Okay. Let's talk about acne, oily combo, and problematic skin. Now, here's where we're going to hit ichthymol. Ichthymol is a fabulous, fabulous ingredient. The ichthymol and herbs mask is a very smoky smell. It is a standalone mask. We are not mixing or layering anything with this mask. It goes on like a typical mud mask would go on. But what does the ichthymol do? It is antifungal, bacterial, viral. It is drawing toxins from the skin that are creating issues, especially acne. This can be used both for your bacterial acne and for your hormonal acne. It could also be used for a foot detox because, again, any place that you want to detox something. I have used it to treat eczema and psoriasis as well, along with some other products.
So back to the rosacea, would that be something effective to treat rosacea with too, or no?
Make sure, because it can be a little stimulating.
Okay.
You want to, I would spot test that on a spot.
Okay.
On the rosacea.
I know the cucumber was amazing on it. So
right. Cucumber's great for it. Can you use it on rosacea? Yes. I would spot treat.
Okay.
Because again, you never know what people put on their skin before they walk in your door. And that's always the issue. You can't control all of the variables there. It also has your walnut leaf, which is going to calm your swelling, your elderflower, which is tightening and astringent, your zinc, which is of course going to calm down inflammation and reduces that acneic hormonal effect. Again, it's a standalone mask. You can treat bug bites with it. You can spot treat with it. And this is one, when you were talking about the lumps and bumps from waxing, that type of thing.
Okay.
This is one that you can use for spot treating to just wear all day. We do have another product that has it in it. It's called Herbal Clay Spot Treatment. We will get to that you can take with you in your purse. That's the one that I use. There's a couple of steps you'd want to do before, but this would be your last step.
Okay, so a serious question or important question, Amy, too, is that we have people who have nut allergies,
Oh,
like are allergic to nuts or
no, that's
are,
not indicated. That's not contraindicated
okay,
here.
so I'm asking you, on any of the products, would that be a contraindication with any of our products that they would have allergies to nuts?
None.
Okay.
And there's no green tea in our products. That's something that we get asked a lot.
Okay.
Black current balancing clay mask. Love this mask. This is a quick on and off mask. This mask makes 6 minutes max. It's already ready to go. Great for most skin. If they're super dry, you might not want to hit it. It does mattify. It reduces oil and shine. So the combination of 2 clays, kaolin and bentonite, is a perfect marriage because they work in tandem to draw out impurities without over drying the skin. One thing you have to think about when you're looking at specific ingredients is you can have kaolin clay, you can have bentonite clay, you can have ichthymol, you can have elderflower. But the thing to realize is that something happens when things are combined, just like when you're cooking, okay? If you were to just taste pepper on its own, it's going to taste very different if you're actually applying it to food. Skincare is the same way. So at some level, depending on the percentage of the ingredient in the product, just because it has vitamin C in it doesn't mean that it's going to be irritating to all skin because of how much vitamin C is actually in there, number one. Number two, where it's sourced from. So always consider when you're reading ingredient decks is what does this do together and not just separately what the ingredient does. Does that make sense? So the example here is the kaolin and the bentonite are both impurity drawers. However, they don't over dry. This is a great one to unclog pores. It soothes, it calms. When I've used it, my skin just looks very balanced, if you will. Also, this is a good one, even though we indicate there's a couple of other ways to do prior to extractions. This is a great one to use if you are going to mask prior to an extraction. This is a good one to use. Did you want to say something, Priscilla?
No, that was exactly what I was going to ask you, if you would recommend it before extractions.
Yes, this is a great one to use prior to extractions. And I discovered that when we were testing it, and I used it for the first time, and then I stick my face up in my, 10 times magnifying mirror because I'm blind as a bat. And I was like, ooh, everything's coming out of my nose. So unfortunately, don't tell anyone, but I'm a picker and it's just terrible. I shouldn't be. Yes, I know. Okay. All right. Rose hip gel mask. This is a great one for reducing inflammation. You can mix it together with other masks. This is a great one to use for young people, for teens, and great for most skin. So calming, toning, got your essential vitamins in here, good to go. 7 herb mask is a standalone mask. It is very thick and piecey. I have a removal technique for all these thick and piecey pain in the butt mask and the exfoliators that are difficult to get off in that YouTube video. Please go watch it because it's a great way to get your product off without having to fight to try to get it off, how to not to waste your time doing it, and how not to pull and tug on your client's tender skin unnecessarily. 7 herb mask was actually the first mask as we know it that ilike created. And this is great for all skin, people with seborrhea, rosacea, that type. It's got antiseptic properties, antibacterial properties, but it's very gentle. It is also great for post extractions, so to apply to the skin. And it's got your spearmint, which is astringent, your yarrow, which is anti-inflammatory, et cetera, et cetera. So across the board, you can't go wrong with this mask for any kind of skin. Questions before I move on? Okay. Who can tell me where ichthymol comes from?
Don't know.
You said it came from deep in the ground. I just don't know the other part that you said.
I'm gonna still, somebody knows, because I know I've taught this a bunch to several of you.
I know it's from
Said it already.
volcano. I just don't know the name of the volcano.
Yes. Okay. Came from a volcano. Awesome. Reese cup. There you go. And it came from the Carpathian Basin, 200 yards below the surface. It's rich volcanic ash. That is why it is so effective. These are the kinds of facts that you need to commit to memory, because these are the kind of things that you are going to talk to your clients about, so that you're educating them.
How many feet below?
200 yards below the surface. Okay, now let's hit this. This is Hungarian paprika. This is a catalyst treatment. It is hot. It has capsaicin in it. It has paprika in it. It is not, I repeat, not to be used by itself.
Okay.
It is not to be used with steam. If you look to the right bottom of these are the contraindications. There are some exceptions here, but absolutely do not use this with steam or in the same protocol that I have listed here. Again, there are some exceptions, and we can talk about that separately if we ever need to. But Hungarian paprika is an extremely stimulating product. And there are things to know. Number one, it's going to be hot on the client's face. Clients will be very red, quite possibly like as red as this rose petal gel mask here, quite possibly very splotchy, can be 4+ hours. You can apply cucumber parsley mask following after it's removed, and use rose hip toner, rose hip serum if you need to calm them down. I have had estheticians freak out when they first use this on a client, send me pictures where it's an absolutely perfect result, but not realizing how absolutely red someone will get using this. Okay, especially if their skin is hydrated and decongested. Okay.
How long does the redness last? Oh, just kidding. I see it right there.
No, it can be, for me personally, my skin, it's about 2 to 3 hours. It always depends on the skin. But once that subsides, again, if you follow, it's going to go quicker if you do a cucumber parsley mask following. You'll get that healthy glow, real healthy glow. So you're stimulating that cell turnover. Because the circulation is boosted so much, what it's doing is it's pulling product down into the skin. All of the masks that you see here, including the HA fruit peel, which is a peel. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Oh boy, I got to go back. Back, there. The HA fruit peel, these are all fine to use under your Hungarian paprika. You apply over a gel mask, best to use a fan brush. It's very goopy, it's very thick. You can also layer the Hungarian paprika. I love doing this, and I'm gonna actually show you what it looks like. Hopefully I have one in here. Hang on a second. I do. You can also layer, so you first put on the gel mask, and it's, understand, you can order these from us and we will just give them to you, and then you can get them from your local supply house. When I say layer gauze over the gel mask, it is very, very, very thin, very thin. So not just any gauze, it has to be thin gauze. You press this, and be careful if you have young children around, because I scared the crap out of my granddaughter doing this. It really is very scary looking after. So you'll apply the gel mask, then press this into the gel mask. See how scary that is? Then take your fan brush and you can put the Hungarian paprika on the top. Cool thing about that is that it's like a peel, literal peel. So when you take it off, it peels off, and it makes for easier removal in clients like him. The combination of Hungarian paprika gel treatment over the AHA fruit peel itself is actually something that could you technically use as your masking session? Yes, but you could also use it as your treatment in service and then follow with another mask. So like you would do a microdermabrasion treatment or whatever kind of treatment, you could use it as that order of operations in your treatment.
So you're saying to layer the fruit peel with the Hungarian paprika over and then follow it with another mask, potentially.
Yeah, after you take it off.
Okay, right.
Yeah, after you remove it. So once you've removed it and you've toned, then you could potentially follow it with another treatment. Just make sure that whatever treatment that you're following it with, that it's calming. Obviously, the skin is very stimulated at this point. The other part about this is you constantly need to be monitoring the comfort of your client. If it's too much, so there's warmth, it's hot, holy crap, it's hot, it's time to take it off.
So what is the recommendation for the time?
It could be anywhere between 6 to 20 minutes. It really just depends on your client.
Okay.
I personally, again, I have the toughest skin on the planet, can leave it on for half an hour. I am red as a tomato, but I like it. So I'm all good with that. But again, especially first time use, whatever, make sure you know your client's skin, make sure you know what you're putting on. Do not use yogurt power peel. Do not use botanical AHA peel ahead of time. Please do not overstimulate the skin if you are going to use Hungarian paprika. So let's go through the contraindications at the bottom right of this page. Please pay attention. Do not use with steam. Do not use in the same protocol as, even if you don't know what this product is, you will. Nettle and algae treatment, ecopeptide gel mask, the only mask that you cannot use in combination with Hungarian paprika. It is hormonally contraindicated. The pumpkin mask, because it's already enzymatic, it's pretty stimulating anyway. Not going to use in the same protocol with yogurt power peel, botanical AHA peel, or rolling face and body. Okay, again, there are some exceptions here, and if you want to know later on, we can talk about that. But precaution, I always err on the side of caution. These are the things to be careful with.
And the sole purpose of this is to intensify your treatment process, right?
To intensify the treatment process, increase cell turnover, give the client a very stimulating experience. Some don't want a stimulating experience. Some really want to feel like something is happening, and it is. And it does, once the skin calms down, it's super glowy, really glow. We sometimes have had clients call this before an event peel kind of thing. Okay, any questions about Hungarian paprika? Okay, I'm asking a question. What is the best mask to follow a Hungarian paprika treatment? To follow, if you already removed it, what's the best mask to calm it down?
Probably the cucumber and parsley for calming purposes.
Correct. Correct. And if you have a client that is becoming too uncomfortable, what do you do?
Rose hip toner.
But what do you do first? It's on their
Remove
face.
it.
Get it off. Yes. Yes. Then rose hip toner, and you can do rose hip serum. Great. Are you all still with me? Because I can't see all of y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right, good. This is one of my favorite products. I use this in my kinesiology practice all the time. It is super versatile. It is also heat, but not at the level of your Hungarian paprika. Here are the things to know about nettle and algae. So what does it do? It is thermogenic heat at the cellular level. Well, what the heck does that mean? It means that it can penetrate, just like the hyaluronic acid. This is one of our penetrators, and it creates heat. And what does creating heat do?
It improves circulation.
Correct. When the other thing that it does is a lot, actually. So it's highly versatile. You can treat edema, joint inflammation, swelling, lymph congestion, skin inflammation, increased circulation. It's great for bug bites. It will burn, but it will heal quickly, put on bug bites. You can mix it with any moisturizer, any oil, any lotion, some exfoliators, most masks. Avoid the eyelids with this product. You can target inflamed areas during massage. It immediately restores circulation in hands and feet. And I put it on somebody that had, you remember when I put it on your mom, Haven?
Yes.
So her mom had she had a cast on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she was significantly swollen, had just had a cast removed. And I was just testing it out because I know what it does. I know what it does with my patients because I use it for a lot of people that have arthritis and a lot of where their water is retaining. That helps to detoxify. And then I'm going to skip and pause because, again, FDA, blood vessels. So what it does is it gets in, it reduces that swelling. So I applied a little bit of moisturizer, I don't remember which one, with some nettle and algae treatment while I was doing a facial on Haven's mom. And about 20 minutes later, that swelling had gone down by about 40%. It was tremendous. So I'd never actually put it post cast removal onto a patient, client, whatever, but I highly recommend, and especially for those that have massage therapists, which I am putting together, BT Dubs, a massage training, because we have a lot of product that we can use during massage and for people to take home and use that will assist with a lot of these problems. So because it has that thermogenic heat at the cellular level, the alginates that are in the nettle and algae treatment, and I'm going to be asking questions about this, so pay attention. The alginates are what attach to the ingredients to pull that product beneath the skin barrier. Okay, and we all know how healthy algae is, so there you go. And of course, these are all purely sourced. It also supports your vascular health, which is kind of like what we were talking about before. I have to be careful with my words. Okay, so be careful. Do not use this in the same protocol ever as Hungarian paprika. Okay, because it is stimulating, you're going to use great caution using anything like acid peels and other stimulating treatments. I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you've got to know your client's skin. I would be very careful mixing it with circulation revitalizing body lotion, which we're not hitting today, but it's hot. Okay. Who's with us? Let me move down the line here. I'm going to ask some questions. Gabby. Hi, Gabby. Where's Gabby?
Hello.
Hi. So give me an example, and if you don't know, that's absolutely fine, okay? Give me an example of where and for what reason I can use nettle and algae treatment.
Mixing it into a gel mask for anti-aging clients.
She can't answer for you.
Sorry, I was just moving around, but well, you can mix it in. We were actually just talking about it before because I asked Danielle if she's ever used it because I haven't used it yet. But she said that she layers it underneath the mask if the client can take it, or otherwise can use it on its own.
You can. I prefer not to. Only because I feel like when I mix it with an oil or with a moisturizer, it just spreads better because it is kind of not slick. It's not very slick, but you can. You just have to be careful. Yes.
I have a question.
What's that?
Would you use this in a gua sha treatment?
Yeah. Who asked
Okay.
that? Who asked me that?
Priscilla
Okay.
did.
So I actually do use this in gua sha treatments. I mix yarrow oil with nettle and algae, and I gua sha. Yeah. What's another instance and application where we can use nettle and algae treatment? Let's see, who hasn't? And it's right up there, guys. It's on the screen. You can't miss it. I just want to make sure you're paying attention. Amanda, I haven't picked on you yet.
I'm sorry, our audio just went in and out on that last bit. Do you mind repeating the question?
Absolutely not. What is one way that I could use nettle and algae treatment, and for what?
I guess to boost circulation, but it sounds like we've talked a lot about layering it with other things as well.
Better off to mix rather than layer. You're better off mixing than layering. You can layer, more effective to mix. Okay. So usually the combination is going to be about, 2 parts nettle and algae treatment to 3 parts mask if you're using it with a mask. Same thing with a moisturizer. And I have Raynaud, so I have terrible circulation. My feet and hands go numb all the time and turn purple and white and whatever. And immediately when I apply just a little bit, it instantly brings my circulation back. It's like a magic trick. If I was in person, I would show you, because I probably have a purple right foot since my legs are crossed. Okay, any questions about nettle and algae? Because we're going to move on.
So it sounds like this would, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Hayden, go first.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to ask, like, how would it be for like arthritis? Because I know that can, sometimes be a problem for people.
Great. I would mix it with yarrow oil for arthritic people, and I do that. Actually do that in my practice. I am a big yarrow oil proponent. Obviously, I do use that one probably more than any of the other oils. I also use soothing herbs body oil with the nettle and algae, especially if I have larger areas that I need to cover. I do have clients also that purchase nettle and algae and oils from me in my other practice, even though we sell business to business, because I know my clients to take home and put on the joint inflammation, arthritic areas, things of that nature.
Thank you.
Don't be afraid to try these products. Some people get afraid because we tell you, okay, it's super powerful and be careful. But try it. I mean, do you use it yourself? No, if you're afraid, if you have highly sensitive skin, do it on another part of your body. You don't necessarily have to put it on your face. All right. And then Priscilla, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just, sorry. It sounds like it would be best for massage portion of the treatments. So people who, like, if we're working on arms and hands and shoulders kind of a thing, if anyone incorporates those kind of movements in the facial.
You could absolutely incorporate it into both. It's great for both a facial and great for incorporating into the massage aspect as well. And you don't need to use a lot of product. A little goes a long way.
How much would you say, like, not even a half pump?
Well, so what area of the body are we going after?
Arms, shoulders.
So if you did arms and shoulders, yeah, that would definitely be a half pump.
Okay.
With another carrier. Any other questions about nettle and algae before we move on?
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
So I know with like a lot of inflammation, so with this product, it's picking up the circulation.
Correct.
And with inflammation, a lot of the time, if you have too much heat, it can also make it worse, make like the inflammation worse. So how is this not, I guess, going too much?
It's because of the alginates
Okay.
that are in it. You still do. I mean, if you've got somebody that's angry rosacea, we're not going to go here. You know, we're going to wait till that skin calms down. And if you put it, it's going to sting if you put it on inflamed skin, like a bug bite or something like that, but it will heal it and calm it down.
Okay.
Because it helps things to coagulate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good question. All right, let's hit retinol really quickly here. So it's a lot of information. Again, you have access to all of this information in other places as well. You've already seen this first box right here where we can explain about the conversions. Who can tell me what both retinol and retinol need to become before they become active on the skin?
Retinoic acid.
What's that?
Is it the retinoic acid they have to convert to?
Yes, ma'am. Retinoic acid, also
I
known
said
as
it wrong.
retinaldehyde. Okay. So what does it
Is
do?
that
What?
the same as tretinoid that you would get at the dermatologist?
Like the tretinoin?
Yeah.
That's retinol. That's
Oh,
more,
okay.
that's more retinol. Yeah, not
Oh, okay.
retinol. Okay, it's all about the conversion and what's in it. So lots of things that this does. So basically, if you want to think about retinol, you're thinking about Botox, but not Botox, right? So you're going to get in and you are going to resurface the skin. So we're talking scarring, collagen production. Oh, look how I did not spell collagen correctly up here. It's collage production. It's a word. I caught that. So yes, we're going to create collages with our retinol. No, so it's going to speed that cellular turnover really quickly. It's going to inhibit the melanin production, which creates what? Y'all should know this.
Helps with pigmentation.
Yes, there you go. So it's going to strengthen and resurface the skin, protect the existing collagen fibers, and reduce the water loss. Significantly higher exfoliation rate than retinol, which is what we talked about. Plus, this is different too. It has direct antibacterial properties that retinol does not have. Will clear out the pores, reduce the oil production, normalize the sebum production. All right, who can use retinol? I still even make that mistake. So anybody that is starting in their early 20s to prevent aging, again, they need to be on regular home care first. Post-inflammatory acneic clients, totally fine. People who have scarring, hyperpigmentation, anybody that wants to resurface the skin. You just have to be monitoring and making sure that they're on home care. Main ingredients located in our retinol. So these are the 3 retinol products. And again, who can use the retinol mask?
Didn't you say all skin types?
What's that? Go ahead,
All skin
Elaine.
types?
All skin. All skin. It's gentle enough for all skin. It smells so good too. So main ingredients. We've already talked about sea buckthorn. Omega-7, what it does, incredible ingredient. Apricot, incredible ingredient. Rowan sorbapple, most of you are probably not going to be familiar with that because we don't grow those here, but they exfoliate the skin naturally. They also help the perpetuation of collagen and they are antibacterial. Now let's talk about something. Does anybody ever buy apricots here in the United States? Me either. They're awful, right? How big is holding up to the screen with your hand? If you were to buy an apricot in the United States, how big would it be? Show me. They're about, yeah. So Priscilla's got it right here. They're about that big. The apricots in Hungary are like grapefruits. And they're yummy. and they are full of nutrients, and they're big. And it's not because they're treating them with anything. It's just naturally that's the way that they're supposed to be. We just don't see that kind of thing here in the United States. So when we're putting these ingredients into the products, the purity, again, is the most important thing, because that is what the body understands. You don't have anything to fight with inflammation because it doesn't understand a chemical compound or extract or fragrance or something that it's being thrown in there with it. For home care, know your client. They have an established home routine. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about this. I break down each individual ingredient. I do ingredient spotlights, so go learn that stuff. So phase 1 is going to be 7 days. They're going to use the serum, which is 0.2%. So remember, that's the same amount as 2.2% of retinol as far as strength goes, but you have all these other ingredients that retinol doesn't have to help perpetuate the healing, the antibacterial perpetuation of collagen creation, the hyaluronic acid, the omega-7, et cetera, et cetera. To start with, serum and moisturizer every other day at night. Make sure they are using sunscreen during the day. After 7 days of every other day, connect with the client, see how they're doing. Possibly you might need to back off to every 2 days. Possibly they're ready to do it every night, serum and moisturizer. Can you layer? Yes, you can use this with grape stem. You can use this with ecopeptide serums, okay? Totally fine to use one serum in the morning. Obviously, you're not using the retinol serum in the morning. Just use it at night. So here are the contraindications. We are not going to use retinol with AHAs or BHAs on the same day. So give me an example of one of our products that you would not use on the same day. So let's say they came in for a service. You know that they're on a retinol series. What is a product that you would not use if you know that your client has used retinol?
Any of the chemical exfoliants, like the AHA fruit peel?
Yes, correct. So
Anything like
yogurt,
that?
botanical AHA. You
I
might
think
be able to
that's
get
one
away
thing-
with AHA fruit, but I wouldn't.
I think that's one thing, because yesterday me and Brittany had clients that came in and they were, clearly agitated that we had to sit down and talk to them about their intake form. And I've had many clients get, annoyed when I ask them what they're using at home and they don't want to sit and talk to me about it. And it's, it brings back to this point as to what we need to know what they're using every day before we start slathering stuff on their face.
Exactly. And you have to turn it back on them. If I don't understand what you've done previously, I could potentially put something on your face that could cause a reaction.
Right. Okay.
So you're hitting it from the aspect of, because they're irritated because they think you're going to try to sell them something. Okay, because that's the way it's coming across. How it needs to come across is, and you can preface the intake. I need to go through this intake, and this is for your safety. If I don't have a clear understanding of what you have been doing on the regular or been applying to your skin, I potentially could put something on your skin that could cause a reaction. I don't want that to happen. I want your service to be an incredible results-based experience and that you walk out of here happy. If I don't have this information, I cannot be precautionary in how I choose to use product. Okay. So you've got to turn it back on them that and don't say this is not about me selling you something. You are saying, hey, I got to know this stuff. I can't treat you. It's because you're a professional. Just like when someone walks into my practice, I can't treat you unless I have an hour's worth of information, literally. Because I could potentially go in, lay hands on your body and injure you. I need to know if you've got titanium rods in your neck. Same thing with skincare. If somebody's regularly using retinol, and a lot of people do, You need to know that because they may have used it that morning. You can't go throw yogurt power peel on their face, but there's no way for you to know. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Is that helpful at all?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We are getting there. It's 2:11. All right. We got to hustle. All right. Let's talk about serum. So like we talked about before, when we're building a protocol, the first thing that we're going to pick is the serum. And the reason we're picking the serum is because it's the power player. This is where we're targeting the issues. Yes, you can layer the serums. Look over to the left-hand side in the blue box where it says things to know. Okay. Your prep, your double cleanse, your tone. This is for daily use. I'm not talking about back bar. Your hyaluronic acid are essential for optimal efficacy for these serums. We need to pull these serums down. They're buying and paying the money for these serums. They need to be doing this stuff ahead of time. And you need to be educating them about why, not just here's the product, you need to use it. That's going to be in the next training. Second thing is the amount of serum in any of these bottles in the beginning is going to be a little bit more, but it's literally like 1/8 of a pump. So make sure, like with the exfoliating washes, that you are showing in-house your clients how much to press the bottles down. Because if you press down an entire pump of ecopeptide therapy serum, that's like 9 applications. That's a big waste of product and it's not cheap. Okay. So teaching the clients how much to not use. So these are your most concentrated and your potent products. If they're used consistently, and when I say consistently, best case is twice a day, worst case is once a day, absolute worst case is never. Again, maybe layered with other serums. So again, small amounts, and your retinol serum must be monitored. Read and learn. So a legitimate understanding of how the body understands and responds to real ingredients, both internally and externally, is where the change is going to be created. You've got to educate yourself. I can't do it in just a 3-hour sesh, you know? So on the bottom, just like I told you, and anybody can stay on after, and I will go through really quickly, walking you through Google Drive where all the resources are if you have time and you need that assistance. I will stay on after I'm finished with this. Read the clinical studies provided for all of these products and commit them to memory. As a professional, you can guarantee change in the skin based upon compliance of use. I'm not saying that you have to memorize every word because these clinical studies are long, and a lot of them are written scientifically, which they have to be way over the head. So go back to the basic posts that I've made, the reading that you can find in the Google Drive, or contact me directly because I be a squeaky wheel. I'm okay with that. Don't worry about bothering me because I'm here to help you. That is my job. All right, other power players in your serums. We're going to go through this really quickly. Again, your sulfur. Let's hit mattifying serum. A lot of people don't understand mattifying serum, and I don't really think it should be named a serum, to be fair. Does it function like a serum in the way that it will literally get in and heal acne? Yes. Does it go on like a serum? No. It's extremely mattifying. So when you apply it, and it will, no matter what the skin tone is, it will. So if I'm super pale, if I'm super dark, whatever, it looks like makeup, but it will absorb and diffuse into whatever skin color you have. So you can apply it underneath the makeup. It is the hidden jewel for acne. So if you pat it on, you put it on before your makeup, it absorbs the oil, it gets in, it detoxifies, it's got antibacterial properties, and it leaves this nice matte finish on the face. You can also use this when you're spot treating for post-waxing. Okay, it's another one that has the icamol in it. This one is amazing for people that have acne. Your inflamed, pustular, bacterial, very angry, chronic acne is your sulfuric balancing serum. It smells terrible. and the smell will dissipate. We can't change the way things smell because it is what it is. We don't add fragrances to our products. It does dissipate after it's applied, but to be fair, if I had really bad bacterial acne, I don't care how bad something smells, I'm going to put it on my face. So the sulfuric balancing serum is where you would start. Once it's calmed down and you start to get them on that road to recovery, then you would switch them to probiotic serum. We're going to hit that real quick. Rosehip serum, everybody needs this in the back bar, calms all skin regardless of the issue. Use that on your sensitive peeps. You're good to go with that one. And then Soothing Herbs Serum. This is another one, pre-post waxing to use, one you want to use at home. And I'm going to go through that order, Sephora, don't worry. So this guy only comes in a large bottle now because so many people use it all over their bodies rather than just on their face. It's great for post-shaving, even men. If they tend to get the bumpiness, if they put this on, it leaves a nice mattifying surface. You can use it every day, multiple times a day. It's good for radiation burns, anything angry on the skin. And it will help with other products to prevent those ingrown hairs. Any questions? Moving on.
Amy, I have to head out.
Okay, Brittany, you've gone through this with me before anyway, and I know you'll ask me if you need questions, but thank you for letting me know.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you, babe. Okay. Real quick moisturizers. We're not going to go into the deep dive because we've talked about all of these ingredients. This is just the moisturizer. Let's talk about why we need moisturizers. These are the Bioscience Collection moisturizers. You've got your Ecopeptide moisturizer, you have your grape stem rich moisturizer, and your grape stem moisturizer. The difference between the rich and the regular is that the rich has a little more shea in it. So as people that live in really, really, really cold climates or more oil deficient, I prefer and I don't like anything that is super heavy. It's not heavy. I prefer the texture of the rich over the other, personally. That's just me personally. Obviously, the probiotic is going to be for your microbiome balance. Your retinol moisturizer, yummy and use at night. Very lightweight, good, yummy. And then when the rose petal whipped gets reformulated, you're going to have your calmed hyaluronic. So anything that's named whipped is going to be very lightweight and absorb quickly. If it's not whipped, it's just like regular moisturizer. Okay. When we apply moisturizer, again, go watch the YouTube video, pat it on, tap, rub, move it around. We're not trying to tug and on the skin. We want to take care of our skin. So why do we need to use moisturizer every day? Number one, it seals in the ingredients and protects the skin barrier. So all that good stuff that we put in, the hyaluronic acid, the serums, everything, we want to keep that from being sucked out of the pores, correct? So it's also going to help defend against that environmental damage. And of course, balance oil production, et cetera, et cetera. Most of us understand why we need to use moisturizer and why it is important that if you have your more high-end moisturizers, yes, will other moisturizers, some of them seal better than others. For example, the ones that have ginkgo, like Ecopeptide. Other moisturizers, these are going to be more for your dry and your combination skin. So Quad Defense, we talked about, that's going to be for your environmental damage, bringing out that glow. Hyaluronic Time Erase, your sour cherry, that's more of a, gentle aromatic type of thing. And then your Stone Crop Whipped, it does lighten pigment to a degree. This is a great pre and post wax moisturizer. Men love this product and is a great across the board moisturizer. It will not lighten pigment like brightening moisturizer. Brightening moisturizer, I think, is so underrated. Not enough people use it. We are getting there really soon. With your dry and your oily combo, your acneic skin. Sulfuric Whipped does not smell bad. BT Dubs leaves a mattifying effect. This is excellent for your overly oily acneic skin. Okay. Rose hip whipped, we know what this one does. Apple and lemon, this also brightens to a degree because of the apple and the lemon, but still not on the level of the brightening moisturizer. So great for non-inflamed acne. And then of course you have your sun protection, which also has a mattifying finish of your tomato face and body. All right, so
I have a quick question.
go ahead, go.
With the tomato face, when you recommend it to people, would that be a standalone just morning moisturizer, or could they layer, like I use rosehip moisturizer. Could I use rosehip and tomato?
Yes,
Or
so
you-
I would, we recommend that you put on whatever moisturizer is indicated for your skin and then also follow it with the tomato face and body.
Okay, all right.
It's like your SPF.
Okay.
Okay, so these cover the gamut. Your AHA moisturizer, we also have an AHA night cream that you can use at night and sleep in. So this is going to exfoliate. It's got the fruit of medlar in that. Look that up. It's a great ingredient. So again, what are we not going to use this moisturizer in combination with? What line of products would you not mix AHA fruit of medlar?
Retinol.
Correct. Retinol. Right. Exactly. We also have an ultra sensitive whipped moisturizer. We have it because we have people that want the name sensitive in the product. It's literally why we made this product. Because rosehip, I mean, there's a lot for sensitive, but we made a product because it's for everybody. So, and stone crop across the board, can't go wrong with this one. Okay, so good to go. All right, now let's target. So your AHA night cream and the AHA that I showed you before are both going to exfoliate, do some plumping, some cell turnover. The night cream is great for people who are willing to use a night cream. Let's not forget about their neck and décolleté. Now let's hit brightening moisturizer. This moisturizer can be used all over, can be used on different parts of the body, and it is the best for age spots, hyperpigmentation, and melasma. You do not want to put this on inflamed skin because anytime that you are messing with melanin and trying to brighten, sometimes that can cause inflammation. But if you don't have this in your back bar, everybody's got hyperpigmentation somewhere. I mean, I've got it on my hands because I grew up in Florida. Hello, hello. And then you got your tomato face and body. Put this again. Lycopene is your main player in here as far as the protection. Matte finish, this is your last step. Questions, moving on. Really quick, if you need to take a picture of this because it's a lot of information. Acne. You can use lemon cleansing milk or fresh and clean gel cleanser. Mineral exfoliating wash is going to be your indicated. You have bacterial acne, you're going to go for your sulfuric balancing serum, sulfuric whipped moisturizer, and or apple and lemon. This is not for inflamed. Okay, again, not inflamed bacterial acne. Vita C booster, apple and lemon toner. Now, if we're going into hormonal acne, that's where you're hitting probiotic serum, probiotic moisturizer, probiotic day and night treatment. Stone crop toner, hyaluronic elixir. That's where we're going for our hormonal acne. You can also use Vita C booster for your hormonal acne as well. For all of it, hormonal acne, one mask, probiotic day and night treatment you can use for both hormonal and for bacterial. You would use the sulfuric exfoliator. Then what would you apply before you put on the ichthymol mask? Taking off the exfoliator, what goes on next? I can't hear you, Zilla.
What was your question?
If I'm doing an acne protocol and I have just removed sulfuric exfoliator and I'm getting ready to put on the ichthymol and herbs mask, what am I going to do before I do that?
You're going to apply that gauze.
No.
Right? No? Oh, sorry.
That's for Hungary.
You would tone and put hyaluronic elixir?
Yes. There you go. Tone or not tone, either way is fine, but definitely you're going to put your booster. So remember this, BS, not the kind of BS that you're thinking of right now. Okay. Brother, sister, booster serum, booster before the serum, BS. Okay. BM, not the kind of BM you're thinking of right now. Booster mask, booster before the mask. So booster before the serum, booster before the mask. BS, BM. Right here is the herbal clay spot treatment. This is what I was talking about for keeping the bumps at bay post waxing. If you need a waxing training, let me know. I struggled for a very long time with post waxing issues. I mean, I know a lot of men get their chest waxed and all the other type of waxing stuff. Again, when I hit saponaria, linaria, we're going to go through all of it. All right, this is going to go super fast, so pay attention. This is my skin before I started using ilike in March of 2022. Hyperpigmented, dehydrated, years of sun damage, very athletic, always the things, no sensitivities. My first step was to decongest. Twice a day, this was my protocol. I'm not going to go through it and name everything. If you want to take a picture of it, take a picture of it. Question, would the brightening moisturizer be a good option for clients who have PIH, no open lesions, just scarring? Yes, that would be fine, as long as their skin is not irritated.
I have another question I meant to ask when you were talking about the boosters.
Yeah.
The vitamin C booster, I know it is ascorbic acid, and I know that can be very unstable. And I've heard from people that you should put Vita C on at night so that because the sun can.
Here's the difference. Because we cold press it, we cold press the citrates.
Okay.
And because we cold press it, we stabilize it.
So it can be put on in the AM.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Because of the way it's made. Great question. Okay. Now, this is 3 months later exactly, no filter, no makeup. After I did the protocol that was on the page prior, these are the steps that I did at home. Okay, so these are my back bar protocols, if you will. And then over to the right, you will see the different combinations that I used over time for those 3 months. 2 times a week. I did not start using the sulfuric exfoliator and the ichthymol and herbs mask until I had decongested and started to rehydrate my skin, but that only took about 5 days because I was super consistent. Okay, because I wouldn't want to put that on super dehydrated skin. Didn't want to dry myself out. So for aging, for the issues that I had, which you saw, which is most people, is the hyperpigmentation, the dehydration, the fine lines, the wrinkles, all the things. This is what I did. Okay, any questions? Can I move on? Okay, now we're going to talk about the lumps and bumps real quick. So let's talk about massage. We are super close to the end and I'm taking questions. All right, saponaria linaria massage cream. It doesn't have as much slip as your keratin massage cream. However, it is a desincrustation. Who can tell me what a desincrustation is? Nobody knows? Come on, you guys. You all went to esthetician school. You got to know what this is. Don't Google it. Okay, I'll tell you. So a desincrustation gets in and it significantly opens up the pores. Okay. And so if you use it with steam or a warm towel, you can use it for massage, but use it with, get it warm. If you follow that with extractions, I mean, everything's just going to pop right out. And it's excellent for that. Now, it's more indicated for your normal skin types, not necessarily for your super dehydrated. So you can mix keratin with saponaria. You can also mix firming grapeseed body oil, soothing herbs body oil, calendula oil, any type of thing if you need to get a little more slip in the saponaria. Now, when we're talking about the waxing and avoiding the issues, okay, so TMI, I know I have a male in the room, but waxing for me, when everything starts to grow back out, I get 4 hairs coming out of one pore that look up at the sky and then they turn right back around and go right back down. And so I would have extreme issues with cysts and things of that nature. I don't care what kind of waxing, who I went to, how I prepped, how I exfoliated ahead of time. It took me 6 months to figure out how to heal the problem I already had, which was cystic, thought they were never going to go away, and then avoid it from happening in the future. So step number 1 is I use Soothing Herbs exfoliating wash in the shower with like a loofah daily. Step number 2 is the second I get out of the shower, Saponaria Linaria is on because my skin is already nice and warm. And I want to make sure that since my pores are already kind of open, that they stay as open so that they're ready for the next product I'm going to put on. Step number 3, I'm going to put on Soothing Herb Serum because if there is any inflammation there, it's going to calm that down and keep things from getting angry and red. Okay. And then the last step is if I start to see an indication that a possibility of an ingrown hair or a possibility of irritation, I am immediately applying the herbal clay spot treatment that I showed you back on that acne page, which is the Ictamol, or I could do the mattifying serum. You can do the Ictamol mask. The only thing about spot treating with the Ictamol mask is that it tends to peel off after a while. If you use the herbal clay spot treatment, it stays on all day. It's not going anywhere. The mattifying serum is going to stay on all day. It's not going anywhere. The mask itself will peel away. Can you do it? Yes. But I prefer the herbal clay spot treatment. So again, those steps. Soothing Herbs exfoliating wash in the shower. Immediately when you get out, Saponaria Linaria massage cream, Soothing Herbs serum. And then if you start to see indications of irritation, possible ingrowns, then you're going to apply preferably the herbal clay spot treatment or the mattifying serum. Questions?
You said that you offer a waxing training as well.
I do. Not where I'm going to teach you how to wax.
No. But in terms of using the products,
yes. So we can do a whole vajacial and man Brazilian thingy and whatever, like how to. So now there are certain, and we're not going to talk about this right now, but there are certain exfoliators that you would want your client to go home with. That they could use on the daily as well post waxing. You want your clients post waxing at home doing those steps, especially if they're prone to irritation. They need to be purchasing those products and having them and doing it every day. Babies. All right, real quick. Keratin massage cream. This is great for your super leather turtle people. It's got some great slip on it. Again, if you want the desincrustation combination, you would apply it together with your Saponaria Linaria. Better off mixing these two together than adding an oil. So that's where you would want to go first, but you can add an oil. It's absolutely fine. Okay. Real quick, firming grapeseed body oil, Soothing Herbs body oil. The only difference between the two is that one has grape seeds and the other one has more of the herbs in it. These are also great post wax and shaving. You're going to hydrate the body. Both are excellent for stretch marks. So to avoid stretch marks and to help to heal some of that stretch mark scarring. But more indicated for that would be probiotic serum and yarrow. So that is next. We are literally second to last slide right here. So super close. I'm leaving time for questions, and so I can ask you questions. Let's talk about our oils. So if you look to the left, yarrow obviously is my favorite. If this can be applied, if you have a client that has strip their face, and so they're overproducing oil because they keep stripping with usually SD alcohol, something like that, because they think that if I just get the oil off, that it's going to be better for my face, which is actually counterproductive, as we all know, because we need oils on our face, but we just need a balanced sebum production. So applying yarrow oil directly to the skin at night for someone who is trying to restore a sebum balance is indicated. They will probably fuss at you about putting an oil on oily skin, but it will balance that sebum production. It is antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. It has a very light texture. It's astringent. It treats those acne scars, stretch marks. And just side note, this is not ilike, this is me. I have a grandson. He had cradle cap. I used yarrow. It fixed it. So I'm always experimenting. And he was what? 6 weeks old, something like that. So it's that gentle on the skin. The calendula oil is great for rebuilding that damaged keratin layer. It smells amazing. It calms the damage and burn skin and all the things that you can read here. Can you mix these oils into moisturizers, other oils, massage oils, apply directly to the skin? Are they versatile enough? Yes. There's a lot of other things that you can do with these oils as well. So let's go down to Q10 serum that's on the bottom right. This one is amazing. People who do nails or even your own nails, excellent for your cuticles. Think keratin. That's what Q10 does. Okay. And it's also excellent for the ends of your hair. So split ends, for people that have dry and damaged hair. Q10 is great. Just a little bit. You can apply it to the ends of the hair because it's going to compensate and nourish for that oil deficiency. So people that have very dry, scaly, sensitive skin, but can also be used as well on your nails and hair. And then St. John's wort. So this is going to aid in cell regeneration, reduce redness and inflammation, which they pretty much all do. But this in particular will strengthen your cell structure. It's got some phytoestrogens in it, so just be mindful of that. It improves that lipid barrier. It's rich in vitamin E and omega-6. Any questions about how to use the oils, when to use the oils, who not to use them on? Which oil is going to be your best oil combined with what serum for scarring? This is why I want you to take notes because it's a lot of information. Again, which oil combined with which serum is going to be the most effective?
I think it's yarrow and nettle. The nettle, nettle and algae. The one, I'm not quite sure if I'm right. I'm just kind of.
You are right on the first part.
Okay.
So it is the yarrow oil.
What was the question?
And remember, nettle and algae is not a serum. It's a treatment.
Yeah.
I said serum. So the question is,
okay,
which combination of oil and serum are the best to combine for scarring?
Yarrow and probiotic?
Yeah. Who said that?
Me, Elena.
Okay. So yarrow and probiotic. You can also use probiotic moisturizer as well. Okay, so let's go through this really quickly. You might need to take a picture of this. This is also repeated in Google Drive. So this is the order of operations. Let's start with the left side of the page. Obviously, I don't have the cleansing gel on here. Just, you know, these are my pictures. So step number 1, is your first part of your cleanse. Cleansing milk, gel, either one. Step number 2, exfoliating wash. Somebody describe for me exactly how to apply exfoliating wash. Quick.
So you want to apply exfoliating wash on damp skin, and then you want to very gently apply it onto the skin, and then add an immense amount of water so that it foams up.
Yes.
Not foams up, but washes. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
You can use
How
that part as a massage portion of the facial.
You can. Excellent. And how far do you press that pump down for neck and neck? Not neck, sorry, for face and neck. How much around are you going to use for one application of exfoliating wash?
I want to say not even half, right? Like a
quarter to a half.
Yeah, quarter to a half.
Start with the small amount. If you always need to add, you can add more. But again, you sell an exfoliating wash bottle to a client, they take that home, they're pressing that pump down on the way there, all the way they're wasting product. Remember that. Okay. Toner, number 3, exfoliator, number 4, number 5, right in the middle. These are your spa specific services. Again, remember that Hungarian paprika over a gel mask can also be considered, or with the AHA fruit peel can also be considered a treatment. These are just examples: microderm, extractions, dermaplaning. I know we had some questions about dermaplaning. In our Google Drive, we have specific protocols for microneedling, dermaplaning, all of that. So I want to show you where those are. If you need training on specific machines, we can refer that out. We have some excellent people that can do that. We do not train on machines here at Ilike. We just train the order of operations and the support and healing products that we recommend for home care following treatments such as microneedling, microchanneling, all those things. Okay. Okay. Next, booster before the mask. So we have BS, which is what?
Before serum.
And BM, which is what?
Before mask.
Yes. Awesome. Booster, mask, serum, moisturizer, eye cream, SPF.